many people are taking diet plans from ChatGPT.
I think apart from the protein and fiber, it's important to give a balanced plate, timely meals.
घर का बना हुआ खाना हमेशा हेल्दी ही होता है.
Food is given as a treat. It becomes very much like a craving also.
Does screen actually hamper a good diet?
Something I believe in is a rainbow diet.
Gut health has become the favorite topic.
You know, she would go to a hotel, she'd stopped eating food. She would say, "पहले मुझे bucket ice का लाओ." So they had stopped taking her out. It had become very embarrassing to the family.
Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast. I have a very special guest today, Mrs. Sonali Sajdeva. She's a clinical nutritionist. She has an experience of more than 2 decades, and her motto in life is to help people live a healthier and happier life. Welcome, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm good. And how are you?
All well. And thank you so much for taking time out for today's podcast because I know you've been very, very busy. But yes, would you like to tell our audience about yourself?
Thank you so much. And thanks for having me here. In fact, this has been a wonderful journey so far, and I hope to make it more meaningful. I do really, passionately believe that what you eat is what you
Absolutely.
are.
Yes.
So giving, the right information and just what is required is something that I've tried to, follow all
Right.
these years, and I have seen people benefit with that. So that's about me. I've been practicing since over 3 decades, in fact, and worked with all age groups, the tiny tots to the geriatric, and with several, across conditions. So
Right.
whether it be weight related, hormone related, diets related to children.
Right.
And the beauty is that once you understand your body, you don't need to run pillar to post.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing. हम इंडिया में ये एक myth होता है कि diet and nutrition are considered the same.
Absolutely.
Can you throw some light on that?
Absolutely. So it's very true that, it's so intricate. Diet is what you're eating, right? But nutrition is what you absorb and what you actually require for the body.
Right.
Today, the market is flooded with so much of information.
Absolutely.
So, you can grab anything from anywhere. But what suits you is the nutrition that your body requires.
Right.
So I think that's what we need to understand, and isse you will be able to benefit actually.
I think इतना information overload है आजकल
हाँ जी.
with AI also. Many people are taking diet plans from ChatGPT and also it's showing results. But
Yes.
is it that simple कि आप ChatGPT पे डाल करके prompts डाल करके you can get a diet plan? I mean, I'm sure there must be some catch.
Of course. There are loopholes to all of this. The biggest one being that, there is no accountability when we talk about ChatGPT or other platforms, right?
Absolutely.
For general information, for information which is helping you structure yourself, it's absolutely fine to, pick information from such platforms. But when it goes more intricate, when you really want to sort out something specific in your life, there's the fine line. So I think वहाँ पे हमको सोचना पड़ता है कि आप इस लाइन को क्रॉस कर जाएंगे कि नहीं. चैट जीपीटी तो आपको वार्न नहीं करेगा, राइट? तो इस चीज़ में हमको ये याद रखना कि अगर कुछ भी स्पेसिफिक हो, मेडिकल रिलेटेड हो, राइट, please go to a professional. Don't rely on the abundance of information which is out there in the market.
Right. I think abundance of information के साथ साथ there is abundance of products available nowadays also.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of people from my generation, we have grown up with having rasna or, eating chocolates, or for us, chips, eclairs, all of those toffees was not a big deal.
Absolutely.
Right? But अब हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमने बहुत अल्ट्रा प्रोसेस्ड फूड को कंज्यूम कर लिया है. We have had our load of sugar.
Yes.
and we don't want that to
Happen.
happen to the children.
Absolutely.
Right? So is it right, wrong?
Yes.
What is the right guideline for us to let our children have processed food, or
Yeah.
we should completely avoid it?
Absolutely. So, rightly said. Actually, क्या होता है क्या कि यहाँ पे ना प्राची, we have, in our times, I think there was still a better balance. The key is balance.
Right.
Ultra processed is not right, but how much?
Ah.
It's not that you can move it out from your life in today's scenario.
Right. Right.
है ना? So if you know the key to keep it just right, I think that's where we need to stop.
Okay.
So when we talk of chips and packeted products, what you need to understand is कि if we have a 90 right and 10% off the track balance, you're good to go.
Okay.
So the ultra processed foods are flooding the markets today.
I know.
And unfortunately,
Absolutely.
they are flooding it under the healthy label. So I feel that's even more dangerous because when we look at the healthy label, we tend to overdo.
Right.
And it becomes a safe spot for us,
Right.
whether for parents or for children.
Ah.
And they say, oh, that's absolutely okay. They tend to overtake it. So that's the problem. But if there's a limit,
Ah.
when if you decide the timeline and say, okay, once a week, or you give it in that manner, it's okay. But eating balance from home, I think out of your plate, from your kitchen, freshly prepared, seasonal foods is what can work the best and should be included.
Right. So I think, is it true when people say कि घर का बना हुआ खाना हमेशा हेल्दी होता है?
It depends on how you're making it.
Right.
So healthy khana in the sense, yes, it's fresh. But the technique you're using at home,
I know.
matters.
Absolutely.
The type of ingredients you're using at home.
Absolutely.
अब अगर आप रोज डीप फ्राइड दोगे एंड रीयूज करोगे ऑयल को, तो मुझे लगता है कि दैट मे इवन बी as unhealthy as eating out from the market.
Yeah.
So, we cannot label home food completely as healthy unless you follow the right technique and balance once again.
So if you had to give us 5 guidelines as a homemaker making food for a child of say 7-8 year old, what 5 guidelines would you tell us?
Well, I think while working with kids in these many years, I've understood that the way you portray food really matters.
Yeah.
So if you say I'm putting the same food and you say my children are not eating, I'm so tired trying to get them to eat healthy, but वो खा ही नहीं रहे हैं. I think the way it's plated matters.
Okay.
So as a homemaker, if I'm catering to kids, what I think is that first, while I look at nutrition, I look at seasonally available foods, fruits and vegetables, a balanced plate. I would also see how to present it and how to power pack the nutrients under a camouflage for them.
I think we as mothers are great at doing that.
Absolutely.
Yes. कि खाने को present कैसे करना है कि बच्चों को पता नहीं चले कि what they're eating.
But what's also important is to tell kids that, sit across the table with them and probably get them to be aware of why they're eating what they're eating. 7-8 is not a very young age.
Yeah.
So they're quite capable of sitting with you.
Yeah.
And I think a few tips, like you said, I think something I believe in is a rainbow diet.
Okay. Wow.
So it's like a colorful diet.
Right.
So including many colors, at least 6-7 colors in the entire day would complete a plate. When I look at colors, say from fruits, if I'm looking at the red, it's the apple and the tomatoes from the vegetable group. If I'm looking at white, I have my yogurt, which is excellent prebiotic.
Absolutely.
Today, in summers rather, we have jamun as a purple food, green leafy vegetables. So just cover those colors in the form of nuts and seeds and balance a plate. With kids, it's important to follow a rule which is like, 6 to 7 meals in a day. Big and small mixed.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
it's not that it's a 3 meal thing that you can follow with them. So they may need bigger meals, they may need smaller meals. So you need to balance that.
Right.
I think if we follow these kind of, guidelines and try feeding them what's being prepared at home, or what's being prepared for them should be picked with by the other family members. So it's
Right.
nothing different for them.
Right.
Just ensure there's sufficient protein. As a homemaker, I would say ensure that they're getting well hydrated. Those are the key points to balance their nutrition.
I think that's a wonderful idea and so simple that if you actually take in all the colors of the rainbow, आपकी plate का खाना definitely consume हो
Balance हो
जाएगा.
जाएगा. Yes.
So I also think that we have both the sides of nutritional deficiencies in children nowadays.
Yeah.
There is child obesity. Also, there's undernutrition in children.
Absolutely.
How does that happen and why are they both existing under the same umbrella of food?
Yeah, that's a very valuable question. And what I think is it really begins from the time a mom conceives.
Okay.
So in fact, where the child heads can also begin with the nutrition in the womb.
Wow.
So that's where prenatal nutrition matters a lot. What you eat starts to decide what the child may be moving ahead. In fact, one of my youngest little patients, he's just 4.
Okay.
So, and he is a diabetic overweight. Now, it's not that his habits in those 4 years have been so bad that have caused him to be where he is today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? So, it's something which is genetic, which has been carried over. So, the predisposition to be overweight or underweight could come in from your genes. They are imprinted from there. But once you come into the world, what you eat actually impacts the direction forward.
Right.
Right? So if there is a predisposition, as in you see parents or grandparents with certain, weight conditions or medical conditions, you work towards the children's health accordingly right from day one. That can protect them or slow the process of, either moving towards overweight or underweight and helping them walk the right path.
Right.
So I think because we are seeing so much of it today because more so because it's, openly spoken of now. Until now it was undercover. It was like a kind of topic.
A taboo.
Absolutely. Nobody
it,
wanted to talk about it.
Or accept it also.
Or, do something about it.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately brings you to that stage where it's too late before you can do something.
Absolutely.
So the reason why we're seeing both of these is nothing new. It has been there, but it's surfacing now. And the reason is a lot to do with the genes and then added on with the environment and your eating habits, your lifestyle, which changes it. Apart from this, like we spoke of nutrition right in the beginning, I feel the way the gut is developed, how it absorbs nutrition and the nutrients really matters and takes you forward to whether you are becoming overweight or underweight. Maybe nutrients are not being absorbed. You may be giving the child or you may be eating the right amount of food. So then we need to look somewhere deeper.
Right. I think when you speak of gut, that was my next topic.
Yeah.
That gut health is not only the hot favorite topic amongst adults. Now it has become a very important topic and more so amongst the children.
Absolutely.
There was an article published very recently on March 3rd saying that gut health has become the favorite topic for parents, also for startups.
Yes.
There is so much information about gut health.
Correct.
But what exactly is gut health? And because you're a specialist in nutrition per se, if you could break it down for us in the simplest terms of what exactly is gut health.
Absolutely. So see, when we talk of gut, gut is not just stomach, firstly.
Right.
Right? When we think of gut, the only organ we think of
Yeah,
is stomach.
absolutely.
But it's actually right from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So from what you ingest to what you defecate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the entire process of, digestion along the gut line.
Right.
When we talk of gut health,
Hmm.
why is it so important? What is it in the gut that is really doing
I know.
everything?
Yeah.
Right? So, gut is that organ which actually takes in the food in the solid form or whichever form which is unbroken.
Hmm.
Along the process, it breaks it down, moves it to a converted form which can be absorbed by the body,
Mm-hmm.
and then decides what the body wants to keep and then throws off what is not required.
Right.
Now, this entire process has a lot of hand holding, lot of intricate mechanisms, and lot of bacteria
Yeah.
working behind scene.
Right. Right.
Right? The gut has over trillion bacteria.
Wow.
Some are good,
Hmm.
some are bad.
Hmm.
Right? Now, what decides how the food is absorbed, how your health actually is the balance between these two.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tug of war within.
Right.
Okay? It's equally important to have the bad bacteria. It's equally important to have the good bacteria.
Right.
But it needs to be much more of good bacteria
And the bad one.
than the bad ones.
Right.
Now, when we talk of gut health, why is it the in topic? What we ingest takes in good bacteria as well as bad, right? Because the environment, the hygiene in which the food is prepared really determines the kind of bacteria which your gut holds.
Okay.
So, when we talk of prebiotics and probiotics, right, the pre and probiotics are basically related to the good bacteria. And that's why the market around it. You know, people bringing in products which are helping you get the pre and probiotics.
Yeah.
So, probiotic is basically the good bacteria in itself.
Okay. Okay.
When we talk of a natural probiotic, we can talk of curd, dahi.
Good. Right.
That is a natural probiotic. The process of, the formation of dahi from milk to dahi itself creates the good bacteria.
Good bacteria. Right.
Now, when we talk of prebiotics, it is something which goes into the body, gets
And
converted
then
into a
develops.
probiotic.
Okay.
So there
All
are
right.
fruits, there are good fibers, which are fruits. They don't have the probiotic in them,
But
they are
get converted.
precursors
Right.
to the probiotic.
Okay.
So that is the market of pre and pro.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, when we take these pre-probiotics, we are getting the good bacteria. The good bacteria functions, automatically the body health improves, the gut health improves, absorption improves, and we are on a better balance.
Right. Right.
And the reverse if the bad bacteria, is more. So this is about understanding about the gut health and how it's related to the food you're eating.
Right.
Right? Now, the growth of these good bacteria actually begins from delivery.
Oh, wow. Really?
Whether it is a natural delivery or a C-section.
Seriously. Oh
Absolutely.
my God. Wow.
Because when it's a natural delivery, passing through the vagina itself gives the enveloping to the baby and the possibility of better good bacteria.
Oh, wow.
In C-section, it's a lot depending on the environment. And thereafter, on mother's milk.
I was just about to ask you this only, that
yes.
how important is breastfeeding when it comes to the gut health of a child?
So, I think it plays a very important role because mother's milk is, I think, one of the strongest probiotics, immunoboosters, prebiotic that an infant is exposed to in its first step in the world.
Wow.
So, while I say this, there is a lot of concern also because, mother's milk or breastfeeding is not something that's happening, with all mothers. So, I don't want those mothers to worry that if it's not possible, lactation is a concern, they do not feel guilty.
Absolutely.
I don't want that to be considered here, right? while I say breast milk is very important, either a partial feeding or otherwise picking up an important formula feed, the
Right.
right formula feed,
Right.
can help develop the gut bacteria in the right manner.
Okay.
So development of gut bacteria happens in these initial 6
Wow.
months and thereafter between 6 and 12 months.
Okay.
So the first 1 year of an infant is very, very important in the development of good gut bacteria.
So that's such an important takeaway for all the young moms. Because we never think of gut health at that age, you
Age,
know. We
absolutely.
always think of gut health when they probably reach 5, 6 year old,
Correct.
when they start having constipation or bloating
Yes.
and
Oh, yes.
you know, diarrhea and all. And that's when it strikes us that, oh God,
There's
we need
something
to
not
really
right.
take care of the gut health. But actually, it
Yes.
starts from the first
From
year,
the first day.
first day.
Pre,
Which is
we are actually prenatal. And then the
absolutely.
first day.
Oh my God.
So-
It's quite enlightening and eye-opening to me, for me as well, you know, because I never knew that.
Yes.
And I know now the market is overloaded with gut health products, tests. You know, they'll send the kit home and you give the sample and they'll actually design
Something for you.
a probiotic and a prebiotic
Yes.
specifically for your gut health.
Yes.
Is that true, or is it important to get this test done?
Companies,
I
I
know.
don't think I would be able to, I don't think it's right to comment here. But what I feel is I can say that that's not the only way to get your gut health going good.
Right.
Looking just into your kitchen, just getting the right professional help if required,
Yeah.
can give you the right guidance. Even your, regular foods can give you the prebiotics that are required. So I think we don't need
we
to go so extensive.
Yes, I think we need to get
Make it more simplified.
Ah,
Just make it,
right.
it becomes a stress. I think health is becoming more of a stress game.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And I think that worsens because stress works very badly on the gut.
So I was just about to ask you, children nowadays, of course, have a lot of stress, performance stress, you know, looking good, especially with the Gen Zs and alphas and all.
Absolutely.
That they want to look good, they want to be cool.
Yeah.
So the entire pressure of them actually affects their gut health as well,
yes.
right?
100%. 100%. And this is because many of the viewers today must also have heard of something called the gut-brain axis.
Absolutely.
So I think that's one of, in fact, there's a vagus nerve which travels, it's the longest nerve in the body, traveling right from the brain to your foot. And this connects the brain to the gut.
Oh, okay.
And the messages are sent via this medium.
Okay.
So just imagine what's happening in your gut is reflecting in your thinking. What's happening in your thoughts is reflecting
back to the gut.
To your gut.
Right.
On how the body will absorb.
Right.
How it will work.
Right.
And when the stress is high, just imagine who's being fed with that stress. The bad bacteria.
Right.
So the bad bacteria numbers increase because cortisol levels go up. That's the stress hormone. And I feel, like you rightly mentioned, that kids are already exposed to so much of environmental pressure.
Absolutely.
Just imagine bringing force feeding into the program.
I know.
It's like parents are crazy about what my child is eating.
I know.
They've not eaten one full roti, so today I am so upset about it. How am I going to handle it? And that stress transmits to the children as well.
Right.
So, that's a very big problem. And that impacts, not only their thinking, but obviously their gut, their appetite, and both things go for a toss.
My God, it's quite a vicious circle, I think.
Absolutely.
But agar मैं एक, if I talk about a 15 or 16-year-old who is going to appear for the exams, what should be the actual routine when it comes to food that a parent or a caretaker should serve for a child who's appearing for exams? Because that is the biggest stress that children face nowadays. And बहुत cases देखे हैं that बच्चों का पेट दुखता है एग्जाम के पहले, or they feel very uneasy right before the exam.
Absolutely.
So what should be the top 5 food to be served to a child before the exam?
Right. So, right, you said, uneasiness before the exams or while they're studying. Again, related, uneasiness is actually something that's, expressing in your stomach or
Yeah.
down the gut lining.
Yeah.
But developing where under the stress in your brain. Right. So, exam time is a pressure time. So, the first thing that the caretaker or the mom, like you said, should take care of is to try and relieve that as far as possible, what is in their hand. Okay, so to ease out the process there, energy-rich foods, foods which can boost concentration,
Right.
and which do not trigger lethargy.
Okay.
Right. So the first key thing is, I think, hydration. Keeping hydrated at this time is more important than dumping the stomach with overloading foods.
Yeah.
So even if you have to give things like milkshakes or, a fresh juice homemade without sugar, giving season related hydrating beverages is great to go.
Okay.
You can put dry fruits into, a shake. You can do sattu powder into a buttermilk to increase protein.
Protein, right.
Right, which gives the hydration. Make sure that you're not overloading the stomach, because if you overload it, automatically it's going to make the child sleepy.
Yeah.
Not giving caffeine. So when I talk of beverages, it's like, oh, caffeine is going to keep me up, and
I know,
coffee,
actually
tea
a lot of kids
at this age,
especially if they're studying late night, either they'll eat salty food
absolutely,
or they'll have caffeine
or sugar. And
Yes.
all of these things are very tricky because they have something called beginner's benefit.
Okay.
So the moment you take it, it gives you benefit for the next few minutes because it's an immediate spike.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thereafter the graph goes terribly down.
Oh, okay.
So, the moment they get that kick in the beginning, it's like, oh, wow, it's working. But they don't realize the impact. Like, with the caffeine, you get that kick. But thereafter, the concentration goes down. So, that's where the balance is important. They feel like some kids want to eat something at that time. It's okay to make a few items. Like I said, dry fruits is a wonderful way.
Right.
But maybe, a high protein homemade bar. Doesn't
Right.
have to be a marketed product,
Right.
which has the right stuff, which can be munchy, keep them up, and also get them going through this time.
Right. Right.
So I think these are things that they can pick up during exam times and go through in a relaxed manner.
So my next question is about irritable bowel syndrome. आई थिंक हम IBS जो था पहले सिर्फ बड़ों में देखते थे,
Oh yes.
but now it has become
children too.
so prevalent in children, and sadly so, because अगर उनको बचपन में IBS हो जाता है, it becomes very difficult for
Of
them to
course.
lead a healthy life as
Ahead.
adults.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
So what should we do, and what is IBS?
Right. So when we talk of IBS, as the term itself implies, irritable bowel syndrome, it means that the lining of your bowel, your gut, the stomach part of it is weak. It's irritable. Anything that's going in or specific foods that are going in are triggering it.
Right.
Not letting it do the work it's supposed to do. Right. So what do you mean by not letting it do its work? It's basically like, think of a thin membrane which allows the important foods to pass through,
Okay.
restricts the dangerous or the toxic items, and helps it throw it out. Now in irritable bowel syndrome, what's happening is the permeability of this lining goes for a toss.
Okay.
So it doesn't know what to sieve, it doesn't know what to keep. There's a cross contamination here and irritability in the bowel, which results or shows in various symptoms of physical indicators like, poor growth graph in children especially, stools, the motion, texture starts to show.
Right.
Mood of the child
Yeah.
can be a reflection of irritable bowel syndrome. So sometimes that goes unnoticed, So we need to realize that if we see any of these symptoms, go back to the root cause rather than labeling the
Yeah.
person in
Yeah,
front. It
yeah,
becomes very easy to judge, you know, that, oh, this child is throwing a tantrum,
Right.
or this person's going through a mood swing. I think the first thing that we all need to do is go to the gut. And like you said, that in children, it's all the more important because if the absorption doesn't
Yeah.
happen right,
Yeah.
growth gets impacted in the crucial years.
That is what is
The
a
issue here.
alarming thing here.
Absolutely. The reason for this irritable bowel syndrome needs to be explored. There are so many reasons. It could have been, like I said, genetic. It could be environmental. It could be the family eating pattern.
Okay.
It could be something that's disturbing the child mentally. So I think the root cause needs to be first understood. It could be lactose, it could be gluten, it could be just anything.
Right.
So if that is noticed, I think immediately seek help of a
A
professional
professional. Right.
who can help you understand the cause and treat the cause.
I think this is where हम सबसे ज़्यादा lack करते हैं in reaching out to for help.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
ये लगता है कि अरे अभी तो हो जाएगा ठीक. You know.
Absolutely.
Have water.
Yes.
And things
be
like
sorted.
that it'll sort out by itself. But
Correct.
very important that please seek help of professionals.
Absolutely. So I think here is the fine line once again, where probably your platforms like ChatGPT cannot guide you right.
Absolutely.
You know, where we go immediately, oh, this is the symptom my kid is experiencing, and you get this array of information, possibilities and etc. I think we've started the journey of wasting time.
Right. Right.
Please do not wait.
Right. I think, that is very, very important because ChatGPT has become like our handyman.
Absolutely.
कुछ भी होता है,
You can move there.
you can move there.
And I think that's where you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Take it for general use. I mean, that's excellent. It really helps.
That's what it is supposed to do,
It not govern your life because it cannot, firstly, it cannot diagnose. It's not a diagnosis tool. Right. So a professional is someone who can help diagnose and catch the root cause at an early stage when things are not damaged too much.
So you also said that family eating pattern matters a lot.
Yes.
What exactly do you mean by family eating patterns and how can we improvise it?
Yes. So here what I believe in is that one, what the actual eating choices are, that could be one.
Okay.
Right. So if everybody, like we decided earlier and we were talking earlier that, the ingredients being used at home, the cooking materials that are being used, the methods that are being used, that really matters.
Okay.
Right? Like air frying today, for example, has become such a common practice.
Yeah.
But we do not realize that it is something which causes a lot of nutrient loss as well.
Okay.
Because air frying is basically a low fat medium of cooking.
Right.
Okay. And fat soluble vitamins today are brain vitamins. Vitamin A, D, E, K. So if you're giving a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old food that is cooked only out of an air fryer,
right,
what's going to happen to their vitamin per se in the body? Today, medically, those, apparatuses are basically helping.
Right.
Where you have a concern, somebody with a heart problem, where you cannot take something and you want the taste.
Right.
You can take it. You're already on a lot of multivitamins. But that's not the case with children.
I know.
So I think that's one, aspect of family nutrition. The other is the stress that I was talking of, where there's a lot of pressure feeding in a lot of homes, where it's out of concern, I guess, in, many places, where the family is worried that the child is not eating sufficiently, which either leads to stress in the child and the child just, pushes away food.
Right.
Or on the other hand, can lead to overeating. Because sometimes kids are overfed under the pretext of being healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the beginning of an unhealthy journey.
राइट आई थिंक एक ये जो फोर्स फीडिंग का है कि जितना आपने खाना दिया है प्लेट में सारा खाना खत्म होना
खत्म करना
चाहिए.
चाहिए. That is something which I actually don't believe by, and I really feel give 2 spoons less. Train the child to pick.
To ask for more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that will help them, not waste on their plate. Will also protect from the force feeding. And even as adults, I think this is a very important technique to prevent overeating,
Right.
which is keep yourselves 2 teaspoons hungry.
Lesser. Okay. Wow, that's an easy thing to do,
That's it.
Just be a little hungry.
That's
Never
it.
be
Okay, I
full.
can take, but it's okay.
Ah,
So if
yes.
you can learn it as a kid,
Right.
I think you're sorted.
So one more thing that has been noticed nowadays, बच्चे टेबल पे बैठे हैं, पेरेंट्स मोबाइल पर हैं, बच्चे स्क्रीन पर हैं, and they're all eating together.
Absolutely.
Probably not even realizing what they're eating,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So does screen actually hamper a good diet
Absolutely.
in children?
Absolutely. Like you said, that parents are there, family members are already on the
And
screen.
it's quite a common scene. To be
Very
very
common.
honest.
So I think that directly impacts firstly the family time, so the environment, because there are a lot of important discussions, healthy
Yeah.
discussions,
Yeah.
which actually can happen over a meal. Healthy, happy discussions which calm your mind. Unfortunately, the rays take it all away, all the gadgets pull it away,
I know.
and there's no focus on what you're eating. So there's a tendency to overeat. There's a tendency for silence,
Yeah.
across the table.
Yeah.
So I think,
Absolutely.
that really impacts what you're eating. When you're, using your gadgets, obviously your brain is working. When the brain is working, the body or the brain is pulling up most of the nutrition. So what's going into your stomach is not being used or absorbed for the organ functions.
For the organ function, yeah.
The brain is using most
Wow.
of it and
That-
wasting it.
Yes, that's a really good correlation, you know.
Yeah.
When you're watching screen, the brain actually is using up your nutrition.
Absolutely. So it's all used here. And then how do you say your gut is going to function? How do you
Right.
say your heart is going to function? How are you going to say you are going to have a lovely skin?
Ah.
And then all the worries come in.
all the acne,
All the acne,
blemishes, everything.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
it's all related to your eating pattern.
Wow.
And
Okay.
not only what you're eating, how you're eating, when you're eating is equally important.
Right, right. Now, you said that, everything is related to childhood to have a healthy adulthood. So, if we go in a retrospective way, what are the things that is high performing adult or like a CEO or, people with exceptional IQ would actually include in their diet?
I think they really simplify things. I have seen that with a lot of my clients in that category, where they very clearly tell me, give it simple. Don't give too many choices. Do not go, too much into a different product or picking up stuff which is, packeted, ultra processed.
Right.
So I think a balanced plate, making sure that you have, again, colors, is what just matters. They make
Okay.
sure that they have timely, disciplined meals. See, meals are important, but
Right.
discipline is equally important.
Okay.
So what they follow is a schedule most of the time. That doesn't mean it doesn't go off routine
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
But sometimes it's okay. As long as the body knows that this is how it's going to work. If your lunchtime changes every day,
Ah.
how is the body going to absorb?
Right. I think that's one problem that today's generation is facing कि उनका कोई time fix
नहीं
नहीं
है.
रहता है. It also depends on their work schedule.
Yes.
They have meetings at odd hours.
Absolutely.
And because it's become such a competitive world, there's a rat race everywhere.
Yes.
That
Yes.
khana is no more
an easy job.
Yeah, I know. Like we literally cannot take time out of your daily routine to eat food.
Yes.
And if at all you are, then आप 5 मिनट में खाना खा के
निकलोगे.
खत्म करते
But I
हो.
think here what's important is, like again I say, a professional can really help understand your concern and give you the best way around. It's not that there's no solution.
Right.
Like I have people working night shift. Ideally, that's really against the circadian rhythm, right? Against your natural body
Right.
clock.
Absolutely.
But we need to make do with the best given situation. So I think you should reach out for help.
Right.
And they can really give you easy to do options which can fit into your schedule, whether it be a hectic schedule or not, and help you before things go out of hand. So there's nothing that doesn't have a
good
solution.
thing.
Yeah.
So everything has a solution. It's just that you have to accept it and work on it.
Work on it. So you see how you can get, if you have to rush into a meeting, maybe plan your meal in such a way that you eat at a time when you know you're not going to be rushing.
Right.
Because rushing through a meal is actually not giving you any value.
Right.
So maybe that rush meal could be something which is more calorie packed or more nutrition packed.
Right.
Which can be guided by a nutritionist.
Right. Right.
And you take it and then you know you're not doing wrong.
So if we talk about gut health of children in terms of, how to improvise it, what are the 5 superfood that a child should definitely consume on a daily basis for an overall healthy gut?
Healthy gut. So what I think is the first thing is water, which is not ever counted as a nutrient.
I know.
So I think that is the first thing, because it's actually the medium which helps transport everything through the body.
Okay.
And approximately about a 30 ml per kg body weight.
All right.
Is what is ideal water intake.
Okay.
30 to 40, but 30 to be on the safer side.
Okay.
People think that overhydration is fine, but remember, even water which is beyond the safe limit can overload the kidney, and that troubles, right? So one is water, the second is fiber, which comes through your seasonal fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
So at least 2 to 3 servings of this in a day. Bringing in the prebiotics that we were talking, the natural ones.
The natural
So I think yogurt, curd is one of the best prebiotics. Protein is important. So this could be, depends on whether vegetarian, non-vegetarian choices, nuts and seeds, dals, pulses. If under the non-veg you have your eggs, chicken, fish in lean form.
Right.
अब हम क्या करते हैं, हम चिकन दे रहे हैं बटर चिकन बना के, तो फाइनली प्रोटीन कहाँ गया?
Right.
है ना?
Right.
So that's simple. And I think apart from the protein and fiber, it's important to give a balanced plate, timely meals. Timely meals अगर आप करोगे, तो the schedule starts setting right from the start.
Right. Right. How important is milk in the whole gut health ecosystem?
Absolutely, very valuable question. IBS है, but milk कैसे छोड़ सकते बच्चे की growth रुक जाएगी?
That's one
very big question that comes.
Is always there.
A worry.
That
yes.
दूध तो सबसे important चीज होती है.
What we need to understand, and what I have understood through my experience, is that it's the protein, the calcium which is important. Mother's milk has its importance. Right. But the moment you move out into the world, into a formula or an animal or a plant-based milk, its nutrition is based on the nutrients, like the protein or the calcium that you're getting it, rather than the per se that you're having milk. Right. So if milk is taken in the form of curd, or it's taken in the form of paneer,
right,
you're getting your nutrition.
So you don't need milk.
You don't need milk at all.
Oh, okay.
So the moment you bring in the top foods after the age of 6 months, right? The child may be on combined feed, right? Breastfeed plus top.
Yeah.
That can continue. After 1, or when you wean off completely from breast, even if the child does not take regular milk, dairy-based milk,
really?
It does not matter at all.
Wow.
You just need to make sure that the child is getting complete nutrition. How will the mother or the parent or the caretaker know about this? Growth, parameters, milestones being met. sharpness of mind,
Right.
health, that these are the guides to telling you the growth of the child is fine.
Right. Right.
So why milk?
Hmm.
Right? So I think that's where we need to understand that we do not need to think that or label the food as good or bad. Understand the requirement
Mm-hmm.
of the specific individual. It's very, very user specific today.
Wow. I mean, that's such a big myth busted right
Yes,
now that milk is not like a superfood that it
100%
is being
necessary.
labeled as.
Absolutely not.
Uh,
Absolutely not.
wow. Great. Um, Now, when we talk about cravings, we've already spoken about how kids want high sugar, high salt food. So, is craving a physiological thing or is it a psychological trap that's there?
Yes, so I think it's a big combination here,
Mm-hmm.
because one, what happens is your habits that have been built from childhood.
Mm.
So, say if food is given as a treat,
Hmm.
it becomes very much like a craving
Oh.
also. अच्छा
Oh.
आप ये काम कर लो और आपको एक चॉकलेट मिल जाएगा.
Ah.
So habit building right from there.
Right.
Right? Then it becomes, when you said physiological,
Hmm.
there is a possibility that there's a nutrition deficiency which is going missed. And that is actually showing in the form of a craving.
Hmm.
जैसे I had this little girl who was 11 who used to come to me, and her parents were really tired at the end of the day because they had visited the pediatrician, they had been to a counselor, to a psychologist, and finally they came to a nutritionist because she had this problem of excessive ice eating.
Oh.
She used to crave ice. She would go to a hotel, she had stopped eating food. She would say, "Pehle mujhe bucket ice ka lao." So they had stopped taking her out. It had become very embarrassing to the family.
Mm-hmm.
And genuinely, this is such a simple, common craving which reflects iron deficiency.
Oh.
When we checked the girl's hemoglobin, she was at a reading of 4.
Really? Oh my God.
The moment we gave her
Wow.
iron, she had infusions, we put her on supplements. In the next 2 weeks, she had this color come back,
Wow.
her appetite come back, and there was nothing
Right.
wrong with her.
Oh my God.
So the point is, we just say, I don't know what's wrong with her, there's something wrong, what has happened? And we think of the worst.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just calmly think of what is possible. So that's where nutritional deficiency, chocolate craving,
Chocolate craving,
again,
caffeine.
all of this could be
Cravings.
magnesium deficiency. So I think just go to the expert when you notice such changes, get the root cause checked, address that, sort it.
Wow. So I think every craving also is an indication of a deficiency.
Yes, mostly.
Yeah. And
And
that's
other-
how it should be treated also.
Absolutely. And if it's a habit, then we work around how to break the habit or that vicious cycle, if that craving has happened there. Sometimes an overthinking mind.
Yeah.
Again, stress
Yeah.
levels. If the mind is overstressed, it's just going to, relate because this is stress eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this
Stress
happens-
eating is very common.
So what is
Very
the root
common.
cause? Not pulling away the
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
The root cause is settling the stress.
Yeah.
So how would you sort that? Not by telling the person that, oh, you have a problem. It's not going to solve the problem. It's going
Yeah.
to create more stress. So you need to eradicate the root cause here.
I think one other problem that is that was a Western problem, but now it is really come to the Indian ecosystem is young girls trying to be very thin.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
healthy to nahi hai, but we want a waist of 22,
Zero.
24, size 0 should fit us.
Yes.
And that's leading to a lot of problems, you know, early premature graying of hair,
Absolutely.
skin of course becoming dull. So how do we deal with something like this?
So I think here counseling really matters. It is important for the youngsters out there to realize that the 0 figure is not sustainable.
Yeah.
Please go down
Yeah.
the line, view those who had reached 0
Yeah.
figure. Are they still at 0 figure?
Yeah.
Without medical concerns.
Hmm.
So if you are maintaining a 0 figure at the cost of your health,
Yeah.
I think it's not worth it, because it's not only physical health, it's a mental health, and finally, your existence depends on that. It is very possible to stay lean,
Yeah.
you know, eating right, eating
right.
healthy.
Yes. Yeah.
Correct your protein. These, there's this myth that has come in that you don't need carbs, just cut out the carbs and you will lose weight, and you will become thin and healthy. We don't realize that actually carbs make 60% of our diet. It's the choice of carbs.
Ah.
Are you choosing refined or complex?
Right.
If you do not take that carb, you're not going to have the energy to work. If you're going to try running after a zero figure, you're going to lose out on your skin health. What if your gut
Absolutely,
health first thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
going to be able to tolerate? So the cost at which you're trying to run after this, I don't think is worth it. It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
So
Yes.
I don't say being overweight is all right. It's important to be in your ideal weight, but don't run after something which is not doable for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's a very important takeaway, that children need to be taught right from the beginning
Absolutely.
that everything needs to be sustainable and for a long term.
Long time.
I mean, that is one thing that the next generation really needs to be
understand.
taught about.
Absolutely right
Yeah.
here.
And
Yes.
it should come from home.
It comes from home
It
and
has
school.
to,
I think it
yeah.
comes from both places.
Yeah, absolutely.
When both these places where children spend most of their
time.
initial years
Yes.
are on the same platform,
Yeah.
the child goes forward in the right manner.
Right.
And that's how, then we say peers. When we say peers, when you all at the same level, automatically the peer pressure also doesn't, it's like everyone's speaking the same language.
Absolutely. I think building a healthy ecosystem
Is important.
all around is very, very important for a good
Absolutely.
gut health, good health otherwise,
Yes.
for an overall development of the child.
Absolutely. So I think it's all round. It's not like only me.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
moment we work for an environmental change or a society change, bringing awareness there,
Yeah.
it's health for everybody.
Lovely. It was so good chatting with you. I think we've had such a wonderful and an eye-opening discussion about so many topics.
So
And
glad.
I'm sure lots of takeaways from this podcast. Any closing note you would like to tell to the audience?
Thanks for hearing me out. And I think to stay happy, you need to be happy with the food. Create a
Yeah.
very positive relationship with your food. Do
Right.
not think of it as stress. Do not worry. In fact, I would close here saying that even if you pick a cheat meal in that 10% balance range,
Ah.
please enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because then the mind is happy.
Yes.
It quickly digests it and
Yeah.
throws it out of the body.
Right.
Rather than stressing over, oh God, what did I eat?
Ah.
But key to good health is balance and discipline.
Right.
So stay healthy, stay happy, and that's great.
Lovely chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.